Tori Amos here at CFNY. It always is so exciting to watch you perform, and you sound great. I don't know much about keyboards, but you, Tori, sound wonderful.
Well, it's a bit tricky because I've never done this before, but I didn't want to not play because I felt like that was crapping out. So
well, we're glad that you're playing.
You try
yes.
and you just go, well, we'll see what this happens here.
Yeah. What I'd like to do, if it's all right with you, is open up the phone lines and let some of the listeners call in and ask a question of Tori. We also have some Tori Amos Little Earthquake songbooks that are much more than songbooks to give away on the air. So 870-EDGE, first couple callers through, we'll take your name, give you a songbook. Maybe you can even autograph it for them. Okay, we'll get them autographed, and you'll also talk to Tori in just a few moments. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. CFNY 102.1, I'm Mae Potts, and joining us in the studios here, Tori Amos. And Tori, we're going to go to the phones now. We've got a couple people standing by to ask you some questions. I think first we've got Mike up on the line. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. What would you like to ask Tori?
I'm just wondering what inspired that song.
Sugar?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay, we're in Toronto, so nobody can hear us that's in England or America. Okay, I met somebody that was changing my idea of relationships. Like, why do you have to be in just one?
Mm-hmm.
And it was tearing me to pieces because I couldn't be in both relationships. And this guy made me a cup of tea, and he forgot that I took sugar in it. And it really hurt my feelings because after all I'd shared with him and how many cups of tea have I had with this person, and he forgot that I took sugar in my tea. And that sounds like a little thing to you, Mike.
The little things in life, but they count.
But it was like, well, wait a minute. Which girl did you think I was that didn't take sugar? Because this wasn't like I've never done this with this person before, had a cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And the English make tea, so they should know what they're doing as far as the tea thing. If this would have been the American, we could have let him slide on this because they don't know what they're doing with tea anyway. But he did, and he didn't know, and it made me so mad. And I wrote the song, and I recorded it within an hour of when this happened, and that's that song.
Yeah, because it was a really beautiful song, and I really like your work. I'm a musician myself. I play guitar.
Oh, well, I might steal from you. I steal from all guitar players.
What do you want to steal from me? Go for it.
So guitar players, beware of Tori.
Yeah, Jimmy Page is he knows when I'm around. He's like, I'm not going to play you my new leg story because...
Well, Mike, thanks for your call, and Tori's going to assign a book for you. We've got the Little Earthquakes songbook here from Tori Amos, and maybe you can share with her too. We won't say stealing. You guys can share.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, Mike. We're going to now talk to Pauline. Hi, Pauline.
Hi there.
How are you today?
Not too bad, thanks. How
Good.
are you?
I'm just fine. Doesn't Tori sound great?
Yes, absolutely fabulous, regardless of the piano keyboard situation.
Thanks, Pauline.
Yeah, it sounds great. I had a question, just to get your opinion. How you feel about, the using of, I don't know how specifically to describe it, but I'll call it, a classical voice or a very pure, sort of untainted voice behind pop music, either via samples or whatever's happening today. Do you think it devalues it at all?
What, using...
there's been some examples, and I won't name any singers or bands that have done it, but, samples of certain singers who are very accomplished in their own fields, and I think take a lot of pains to get there, and it's been sampled in pop music. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's a real big war that's going on right now. They don't mind if they're used, okay? Mm-hmm. But, because I know one of them that has been used, who's very, very well known.
Right.
And they feel though, that if they've been used and have helped the song become what it is, then they should get credit for it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these bands sell millions of records, right, the sampling, and don't give credit to the person that they've taken from.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of kidding when I talk about stealing, because I don't believe in stealing. I think people inspire each other and stuff.
Right.
But I think when you do steal, then you've really crossed a serious line. Now, when you do, especially rip and take it direct off a record, there are laws that if you do it X amount of notes, X amount of measures, then you have to give credit to the person that you've taken it from. And that's only right. So that's my feeling about it.
But you don't feel that it devalues it just because it's another sort of, I don't know, musical vein or expression?
I don't think it devalues. I mean, people could think I devalue Nirvana. People could think that anytime you do a cover or whatever you do, that you're not showing respect to the artist. But once you put a song out there, it's really public property.
Right.
We could go in a Marriott tonight, and you know how many people are going to be singing Smells Like Teen Spirit? You're going to have these guys in like paisley tops going, with the lights out, it's dangerous.
Or a reggae version.
Yeah, I mean, anything. And, you know, you have to, like, toss it out there and say, hey, it's kind of public property now. But if somebody records it, then they just need to respect who it came from. That's all.
I just found that I've just been taking some sort of classical training for voice training, and it seems that from that whole perspective sometimes that they have a different viewpoint.
Yeah, but what do they know?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about the classical people. They have a rug up their butt, a broom actually, because they can't make a living and they have to teach.
Yeah.
And they told everybody how to sing and how to do it, and nobody can make a living doing it.
Well, it's a refreshing change, I must say, to hear your music, because it's a great blend. So.
I'm always arguing with these classical people, you know.
I know.
Do you know, the funny thing is, too, from my standpoint, and the point that I thought that you were getting at, Pauline, was that maybe for somebody in classical would think that their music or their voice was too worthy for a pop song or popular song. Let's not forget that pop just stands for popular. And I think that pop artists can also go through great angst in attempts to write good songs, and they also work very hard. So I think it doesn't devalue, because I think that it depends on what value you personally put on popular or classical music.
Well, there's a bit of spoiled grapes going on from the classical. So. Anything that isn't happening, well, they get angry. It's just like let's be honest about it. They're bummed out because people aren't going to see them. And that's what it is, and they try and devalue everybody else.
By cross-pollination like that, maybe some people may get more into go seeing classical or whatever they may have discovered through whatever means. I mean, it was only through jazz fusion that I discovered jazz.
There are people out there that are doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nigel, you know Nigel the
Kennedy, yeah.
He's really excited a lot of people who wouldn't have been into that kind of music.
Although he was scorned for doing that too, going from classical to pop.
But of course he was, because they have, if you don't have the most expensive wine sitting on the piano and have your stinky cheese and stuff, then they feel like you aren't part of the club. Well, who wants to be part of their club anyway? As I've said, those guys are dead. They're under the ground. The worms have eaten them. If Debussy, Mozart were alive, they'd be going to a Ministry concert. Everybody knows that next.
So stay in your old stinky cheese club.
Exactly.
Anyway, Pauline, we're going to give you also a little Earthquakes Tori Amos book, and Tori, I'm sure will sign that for you too. Thanks for hanging on the line.
Thanks so much.
We've run out of time. Tori, thanks again so much for coming by.
May.
It's so much fun having you here. And you're coming back, when, 94?
Yeah, I got to write the record, make it, eat a lot of food, get some wolf bites, and then come back and play.
Okay. Well, we're going to get to news with Anita Cartelia in just a second. I do want to remind folks that today, between 5 and 6:30, you can catch Tori Amos at 333 Yonge Street. That's the big HMV store downtown.
Okay, thanks, May.
Thank you, Tori. Cheers.